Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today's video is going to be my top 5 eyeshadow palette picks for the fall. Now, I know that this video goes around a lot where people are talking about like their seasonal picks. Of course, you can wear any eyeshadow you want any time of the year, but I think these videos are fun and I always love hearing other people's picks and hearing like what eyeshadow palettes stick out to them. But I feel like a lot of people do a top 10, but if I'm being honest, I have around 30 to 35 eyeshadow palettes. So if I try to do a top 10, then I'm like grasping at straws and it's a third of my eyeshadow palette. So that is why we are doing a top 5 today. Top 5 eyeshadow picks for fall. And if you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Kelly and I love all things makeup and beauty. I love talking, I love makeup, I love talking about makeup. So if you like to chat about makeup too, I would love to have you subscribe, be part of the K-Bella fam, but why don't we go ahead and jump into the video. So when I think of fall eyeshadow picks, I think of like the changing leaves and pumpkin spice and like rich brown shades. I think of like deeper greens. I know that some people like to throw like cranberry in there. Cranberry feels more winter to me because I think more of like Thanksgiving, which may technically be in the fall, but for me it feels like winter. Being a teacher, that's like winter time for me. So you will see a theme here. A lot of what you're gonna see is going to be like colors that are similar to what are on my face today. Like this is a fall makeup look in my opinion, like rich browns, mustards, sprinkle in some greens there. So why don't we just go ahead and jump into it. Let's jump into the first palette, the eyeshadow palette that I'm wearing on my eyes right now. And you cannot currently pick this one up because it was a limited edition release for last fall, but it's the Too Faced Pumpkin Spice eyeshadow palette. Now, I have to say, this palette has not gotten a ton of love from me since purchasing it last year, and I recently did an eyeshadow palette declutter. I don't know if it's up yet. If it's not, it's coming, but this one is the one that stayed with me. Spoiler alert, I also had the gingerbread spice. That one will be leaving my collection. I like the Too Faced formula. I think it's fine. Is it my favorite formula? No, but this color story right here like screams fall to me. You do have more mattes than shimmers. You have all of like the warm, rich browns. You do have more of a cool toned purple row down here. If you're into that, you can deepen the shades up over here, or you can keep it light if you stick to this side of the palette. My shade right here in Oh My Gourd Came Broken. This palette, there's like quite a story for me trying to purchase this palette. So that's another reason why I decided to keep it. But the tones in here just scream fall. I absolutely love this shade right here in Falling For You. It's like a beautiful like olivey green type of shade. And I created this all matte look. I can smell it from here. It smells so good. And I just feel like when I think of fall, I think of pumpkin spice. I'm not into a pumpkin spice latte or even the pumpkin cold brew. What I do like to get though is from Starbucks, I like to get the iced chai latte and add the pumpkin cream cold foam to the top, throw a little caramel drizzle in there, you're good to go. That's what I think of. So this definitely comes in as one of the top 5 fall eyeshadow picks. Another palette, speaking of coffee, that screams fall to me is my Dominique Cosmetics Latte palette. I waited so long for this eyeshadow palette. I know it's not a new release, but I waited a long time for it. I just got this one last year as well. And again, you just have like these rich brown shades. Their shimmers are absolutely gorgeous. I love that it's a coffee theme. I love coffee, like lattes, fall, cooler weather. Yes, I am here for it. But the thing that I like about this palette too is you do have 2 fun, like deeper pops of color. If you feel like neutrals are a little too boring, you need something a little bit extra. But this is definitely another one of the eyeshadow palettes that I thought of right away when I was thinking of fall. And part of that could just be because like coffee in general. I mean, like I drink coffee all year round, but coffee in general for some reason like makes me think of fall. So I had to share that palette as well. And a new release those two were not new releases. You can't get the pumpkin spice anymore. You can get the latte, but a new palette, if you want to call it new, is the BH Cosmetics Amore in Amalfi palette. Now I have a full video like with some looks and my thoughts on this palette. Obviously I love it if I'm talking about it in this video, but I do want to say that people who have this palette and the Chillin' in Chicago have said that they're the exact same. So if you have Chillin' in Chicago, then I am speaking to that palette as well. But again, this to me is just like a beautiful fall eyeshadow palette. You have the rich browns, but you can even go a little bit more rosy if you want. You have some oranges and rich golds down at the bottom. The BH formula, I feel like, has definitely stepped up its game the past several years. Super blendable. The shimmers are outstanding. Like, they create a nice, like, pop of shimmer on the lids. I absolutely enjoy this palette so much. Definitely a go-to for me, and when I think of fall, I can definitely see the fall vibes in here. And if you're someone like me who doesn't feel very creative when it comes to picking your color stories, this palette is nice because you can just work in rows. Of course, you don't have to. You wear your makeup however you want to. You do you, boo. But if you struggle with like putting colors together, then a palette like this that helps you with the rows is a good one to pick as well. My fourth palette, also limited edition, kind of secretly hoping that they bring it back, but I'm not counting on it. What do you guys think it is? What do you think? I mentioned it's limited edition and it came out last year and it screams fall. It screams Halloween. What do you think it is? I want to know down below. If you said the Colourpop Gather Round Sisters Hocus Pocus collection, you are correct. This release was a little bit of a hot mess. It was really hard for people to get their hands on this palette, but I mean, come on. Come on. This is a fall dream right here. We have everything from the rich berry tones to your greens to some browns. I'm not into a pressed glitter, so I'm never gonna use Brew Potion, but if you want some sparkle, if you want some glitter, the shimmers are amazing. I even enjoy this row right here where they're like mattes with shimmer in them. That's not typically my cup of tea. I would prefer it to either be matte or shimmer, but I actually really like these three shades right here on the end. You can get like a nice deep smoky look. I don't have like a sparkly black in my collection, so if you're looking for like a more fun smoky eye, you could reach for that shade right here. I call it a buzz, but I really enjoy this palette. I think it's fun. I haven't reached for it as much since purchasing it because, I mean, to me, it just screams fall. Like, it feels like a fall eyeshadow palette for me, and I love the packaging. I love Hocus Pocus. They're supposed to be coming out with like a new version, so, I mean, this would be a great time. Colourpop, if you're listening. If you're listening, the people want this palette back, okay? Like, bring it back, especially if they're gonna do a remake of the movie. For my fifth and final palette, I cheated a bit. I did. I have two palettes, but I'm putting them in the fifth spot together because the first four were very much like my brown tones, like deep brown, rich, but not everybody wants a brown. Some people want some color in their life. And if you want some color in your life, I definitely recommend the Blueberry Muffin Palette and the Avocado Toast by BH Cosmetics. You do not need both of them by any means, but think of your color story. Like me, if I had to pick between the two, Avocado Toast is what I would go for because I do like more of the greens that you have in this palette here. I wear greens more than blues. You have these deeper tones that you can deepen up with. You can keep it light if you want. The pops of green, like, it just speaks very fall to me because they are definitely very like deep and rich. But if you're not really into greens per se, or if you just prefer more of the blues or more of a cool toned eyeshadow palette, then again, the Blueberry Muffin speaks fall to me as well, or even a little bit winter with like snowflakes and stuff. But if you are into this type of palette where it is more cool toned or it is more blue, again, you have those deep shades, you have these beautiful shimmer shades that like create a nice pop on the lid. Blendability is there. It's definitely a gorgeous palette. This is one where I have to say, sometimes I don't always know what to do I don't feel the most creative and I'm not so comfortable in blues, which is why I would say that I would pick the Avocado Toast over this palette. But if you're looking for a palette that has a little bit more color, but it is still like rich and fall-like, I wanted to mention these because I do think that I will be getting a ton of use out of these two palettes in the fall as well. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. Quick and easy, super fast. My top 5 eyeshadow picks for the fall. I would love to know down below, do you have any of these? Are you excited to bring them out for the fall? You know, of course, like new eyeshadow palettes, the shiny and new, like they're exciting, but you don't always have to go with the new. You know, you can shop your stash. I'd be willing to bet that if you have, I mean, even like 5 eyeshadow palettes, you may have one that you feel like screams fall to you or stands out more than the others. So I would love to know down below, like, what eyeshadow palettes do you feel like you're going to be reaching for in the fall? Fall is my favorite season. I love the fall because my birthday is in October. I am from Michigan, although I live in Texas. So we have like cider mills with apple cider and donuts, which I love and I miss so much. The changing leaves, cooler weather, boots, browns, like I love it all. Fall was always my favorite. We don't really have a good fall down here in Texas, but that's going out on a tangent. But fall is my favorite season. October is my birthday. Like, I enjoy the cooler weather, so I was really excited to film this video. But that's gonna do it for this video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you're subscribed before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.
Boom.